creating a marketing plan for your product or your service. Hi guys, it's Sam Day here from DeyTips.com, and in this video I'm going to be speaking about how you can create a marketing plan for your product or your service when selling it online. Now, I see so many people just put out a product or just put out a service and just hope to God that it sells, or just creates a website for it, and then they send me an email and say, Sam, I'm not making any sales, what's going on? And the second I receive this email, I know for sure that the person sending it has not got a solid marketing plan, because if they did have a solid marketing plan, then they wouldn't panic so much. And here's the number one issue that I see people make, and here's the number one element that you need to include in your marketing plan, and that is to do your preparatory research. So you need to actually research into the market that you're planning to sell in, whatever product you're offering, whatever service you are offering. You need to research the demand for that particular product or that particular service. Now, this is super important. So many people get this wrong, and they just, for example, would go to some sort of wholesale website and then buy a bulk of some sort of product and then just put it online and create a website and a Shopify store or something and try to sell it. But you really want to become a student of your target audience. I speak about target audience a lot on my channel because that is fundamentally your marketing. You really want to become a student of your target customer. Who are they? What do they need? What do they want? What do they desire? What hurts them? What are their pain points? You really need to understand your target customer before you make any kind of decision to launch a product or a service, because you want to know what problem you are solving. So when you're creating your marketing plan, when you're creating your marketing strategy, the number one thing you do before you even think about offering a product or service is really stripping back who your target customer is. What do they need? What do they want? And what do they desire? And how can you meet their needs in a sufficient way? So that's number one. Number two, once you identify what your target customer actually wants, you then need to think about who is already serving my target customers. So you have two types of people who are probably already serving your target customers or your potential customers. These are going to be your direct competitors and also your indirect competitors. So your direct competitors are people who are selling more or less exactly the same thing that you're selling, within reason. They might not obviously be selling the exact thing you're selling, but within reason, they're more or less selling the exact thing. So let's say, for example, you wanted to sell a Hoover and you wanted to put that Hoover on the market. So if you're from America, a Hoover in the UK is basically like a vacuum cleaner. So a vacuum cleaner, Hoover, the same thing. If you wanted to start selling a vacuum cleaner, then you want to look at other vacuum cleaners. Maybe another vacuum cleaner doesn't do the exact same thing as your one does, but it's still a vacuum cleaner. So that is a direct competitor. Now, an example of an indirect competitor is maybe a dustpan and brush. So a dustpan and brush essentially does the same thing that a Hoover or a vacuum cleaner does. It cleans the floor. Essentially, it does the same thing, but they do it in a different way. So your direct competitors is someone, like I said, who is selling exactly the same thing that you're selling, and your indirect competitors is someone that has an alternative solution to what it is that the solution that you're providing. So you really want to look at both ends of the spectrum and see where you fit on the scale of how are you serving these potential customers that you're trying to serve. Now, you also really want to keep in mind, once you have figured out who your target customer is and you figured out who your main competitors are, your direct competitors and your indirect competitors, you then want to start thinking about what sets you apart. So this is number three in your marketing strategy. What sets you apart in the market and what makes you different or unique? And this is where the word unique selling point comes into play in your marketing strategy. So your number three thing that should be on your marketing strategy is identifying what makes you different, what makes your product or your service different then your direct competitors and your indirect competitors, because that's going to be your unique selling point. That's going to be what sets you apart in your industry from every other person on the market. There's going to be people who don't like your unique selling point, and there's going to be people who that is the primary reason why they buy your product or why they're buying to your service and not your competitors. So you really need to strongly understand what sets you apart in the market from everybody else who is selling that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the product itself. It could be your customer service. So maybe you're selling more or less the exact same product, but you're just able to get it to people a lot quicker than your competitors. Or maybe you're able to respond to emails, so customer queries, better than anybody else. Maybe you have a longer return policy than anybody else. So you really want to understand what your unique selling point is, what sets you apart in your industry, and really promote that and have that as a driving force. But also revert that back to my tip number one, which was your customers. So your unique selling point has to be something that is going to actually really matter to your customers, because if your unique selling point is something that doesn't really matter to your target audience, then it's not going to be as effective. So those are the fundamental aspects of your marketing strategy. You need to, number one, identify who your target customer is. Who is it that you're trying to reach? Who is it that you're trying to serve? What is it that they want? What is it that they need? What is it that they desire? You really need to become a student and know as much as you possibly can about your target audience. Whether you're selling a product or offering a service, you want to find out as much information as possible about your target customer. And I'm going to be doing a video soon about researching your target customer, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you're not already, so you don't miss when that video goes live. Number two, just as a recap, is to identify who is already serving your target customers. And number three is what sets you apart from your competitors and what unique selling point do you have to offer. So this is my first video on creating a marketing strategy. There's so much more to it, but this video would be way too long if I put it all in here. Let me know, guys, in the comment section. Do you want me to do a part 2 to this video? Let me know if you're struggling to create your marketing strategy, or maybe you have a product or a service and you're wondering why it's not selling as well as you think it should be selling. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want me to do a part 2 about creating your marketing strategy. And if you have any questions as well, let's have a chat. Let's have a discussion. Don't feel like you're on your own here with selling your product and your service online. That is what this channel is all about, so we can help each other. But if this video helped you out, then please click the like button down below and make sure you share this video with a friend. If you have any additional questions or comments, then leave them for me in the comment section. But until next time, watch some of my other great videos. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more awesome business related content. Make sure you download the formula, which is the free guide on my website to generating sales online. I'll leave a link to it in the description and also somewhere on the screen, so make sure you download that. Have a great day, and I will see you soon.